fights taking place via Combat Night, which is a promotion that I fought for a few times. And they'll be in Jacksonville on Saturday. So I have some friends fighting in that as well. So I'll be going to that. And then it's back to South Florida on Sunday.
Will we see a return of the Orange Walls?
Will we see? I'm sorry?
Will we see a return of the Orange Wall situation? Or are you strictly out of that place?
So, Kasey, I don't want to say it's over, but unless because they raised their prices up on Airbnb.
No.
Oh yeah.
Really?
So it's hard to justify it. You know what I'm saying?
Such a shame. Such a shame. A staple on the show.
End of an era.
End of an era. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, we got some stuff to talk about here. Wrestling related, if you will. This is the Scraphouse, Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Coming up next on the network, by the way, there's a schedule release show. I was told to tell you all about that. I think it's Brent and Crew. It has nothing to do with me, which is my favorite things that we do around here. But until then, we'll talk wrestling. But after that will be the schedule release on the network. We've got Backlash, we've got Raw, and we've got a couple of quick notes from SmackDown to get into as well. We'll start with SmackDown because that happened before Backlash. I'm not going through the whole thing that happened, but some things of notes to continue building stories, if you will. And the first of those is the Charlotte Flair debacle, if you will.
Yep.
Actually, I guess in theory, what happened first, just a quick little Alexa Bliss return to be to team with Selena Vega against Chelsea Green.
By the way,
friends.
Crowd went nuts.
Again, yeah. She's still getting a good reaction.
How aren't we using Alexa Bliss in a better capacity?
I don't know. The internet thinks it all has to do with the Wyatt stuff, and that's what's delaying this. But at some point, don't you have to pivot? Because she's getting a bigger pop than anybody in the women's
Just use her, and then when the Wyatts come back, then transfer her to the Wyatts.
I like that idea.
She had the surprise entrance at Royal Rumble.
Great.
Crowd goes crazy. She shows up to SmackDown. Crowd goes crazy.
They did.
At what point, if you're Triple H, it's yeah, maybe we want to keep her just on the sidelines till the Wyatt family comes back, and you just go, you know what? Let's call an audible. Let's use her as much as possible, get the fan reaction up, and then when the Wyatts come back, then bring it over. It would only help, I think, the storyline.
I think that is a good idea. I think you just maybe stumbled upon something. Use the people that get a reaction. You're not breaking any ground there, but, I think it's a good idea. Anyway, she returned, got a reaction. She was with Selena Vega. We then move. We'll come back to Alexa Bliss, but we then move to the Charlotte Flair debacle. Okay. So, here's the thing. And here's, I think, the big problem. I don't think people legitimately want to see Charlotte Flair. And then that turned into a work, they're trying to make it like it's a work, but it's actually real life. And I think Charlotte has now caught on to, not only are they trying to play that role, but also I think she has now understood that the people aren't interested. And this is not good.
It's wild, man, because a few years ago, she was like Rhea Ripley is now. Mm-hmm. She was the star of WWE in the the female division. We take Charlotte Flair now, and I don't even want to say she gets go away heat. She just gets indifference.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares, yeah.
And that's the worst thing to have if you're a wrestler. It's cool if people dislike you, they love to root against you. They pray for your downfall. You have a space there. It's none of that for Charlotte Flair. It's crickets. It's just,
okay. We don't want you here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm no genius, but what has to be one of the worst lines in the history of lines in wrestling is, if you keep booing me, I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
And they kept booing her, and she left.
Yep.
So I was watching and I was did this just happen? Did this just happen? Was this planned? You can't plan that, I don't think. They immediately hit Jade Cargill's music and go into that. Was that a get up here now, Jade, we got to do something because Charlotte's walking off? Or was that like it was so quick that I feel like they kind of thought it was going to go that way? But I don't know. I think there's a scenario where Charlotte just kind of quit.
So one of two things here, Casey. Either she planned on doing it by herself and didn't tell anybody,
Mhm.
and it backfired, or this is the plan all along. The point, though, is that the plan sucks regardless. Because, like, what I gathered from that is, like, they're almost trying to make her feel sorry for herself.
Yeah.
And maybe, like, get back in the graces of the fans. You know, like, okay, keep booming, I'm going to leave. And then she left. And nobody was like, oh, no, she left. Oh, like, never mind. No. People were cheering.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever the play is, whether it's her idea, the company's idea, I think unless there's more to it, it's going to backfire.
Yep.
Because nobody's going to feel sorry for you. You can't play the sympathy boat here.
No, you cannot. And I agree with everything you just said there. So Charlotte leaves. Jade Cargill comes out. More on that in a second. But we do see Charlotte appearing to leave for good. Backstage, I think she's talking to Aldis. I forget exactly. But nonetheless, she runs into Alexa Bliss. And then there is what appears to be a conversation that is going to take place between Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Probably couldn't hurt if you put Alexa with Charlotte in some way, shape, or form, because Alexa super over and Charlotte super not.
Charlotte Flair in the Wyatt family. She needs something.
That'd be an interesting situation. They kill her.
That would be
It's a
unreal.
Braun Strowman situation.
She would be the tallest person in the Wyatt family, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got Eric the Red or whatever.
Yeah, he's
a
big.
big dude.
I mean,
Yeah. No, it makes sense though, Casey, right? Like Alexa Bliss has all eyes on her right now. Charlotte needs
anything.
recycling or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense.
So, like, are we tagging? You wouldn't.
That I don't know.
You can't put her against Alexa Bliss. You just bury her even more.
Well, if you put her against Alexa Bliss and you have her beat Alexa Bliss or like have her, whatever, help Alexa Bliss's downfall, that could boost the heel category a little bit.
Mm. Maybe that's how they push Alexa back into the Wyatts when they're ready.
Yeah, that could be it.
Interesting. All right. Well, it's still, regardless, it's a bit of still a mess in the Charlotte Flair camp. And then Nia Jax gets the win over Jade Cargill to be the #1 contender for Tiffany Stratton's title.
Cool.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, part of me thinks they wouldn't do all of this to have Nia lose again. And that's what I'm concerned about. Because, like, what's the point? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a great question, Casey. Like, I thought it was going to be Jade Cargill all day. And then I was wondering, like, okay, does Tiffany go heel then? Does Jade go heel? Nah, more recycling. Which is funny because we talked about it last week with the recycling promo from Becky Lynch. And now I'm talking about recycling a lot. I have it on the brain.
Apparently.
But it doesn't really do anything for me, Casey. Like, there's some wrestlers when they come back for, like, the rematch and everything where it's like, okay, finally, like, we've been waiting to see this. When Nia Jax came back, I went, oh, yeah, that's right. I guess she does get a rematch, but I don't care.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'll be interested to see, because it feels, in fairness, it feels really dumb to do all of this and then have her lose again, which, again, it's concerning.
Yeah.
But also, I what blows my mind is, like, you don't have, like, there's no better option if she's going to retain anyway. Like, if the plan is for Tiffany to win, like, you're telling me every other woman on the roster, they're like, we couldn't do that.
I mean, I guess now it's Tiffany and Nia Jax to show that Tiffany, like, has grown and, like, Nia Jax can't hold her down anymore. Like, maybe that's the story there, but
like, she just beat Charlotte. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's established that. I don't know. Anyway, Nick Aldis, get it together. It's a little messy over there. But they go off the air with something that now doesn't matter, but continued storytelling. John Cena showed up to work, which was, awesome. And the highlight moment is some random guy that didn't at all look like Randy Orton. I just want to confirm that part. He was 6 or 7 inches smaller than Randy Orton. He was not that buff, and does not hit on John Cena. John Cena sniffs out the attack, stands tall until the real 6'7" Randy Orton comes out of nowhere and stands tall over John Cena as we go off the air on SmackDown, which, if it didn't already affirm that John Cena was going to win, definitely was the nail in the coffin. That was how you knew.
I was just going to say, Casey.
Yeah.
Because it feels like Randy Orton has got a couple of RKOs on John Cena now.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all but obvious.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
So we knew it was coming. Didn't know how it was going to happen.
Very true.
We'll get to that in a little bit.
Very true.
Yeah.
For the story that they built up in a short amount of time, obviously you don't have to do much with Randy Orton and John Cena. But all of the little things that happened, and a lot of that is because John was there. In the build-up with Cody, John was never there. So that hurt that. But, like, at that point, you didn't really need to build anything. And you didn't need to build anything here, but they did. And I would say they executed that to the highest of levels, the stuff that they did throughout the couple of weeks when John was there, when John wasn't there. But I felt good going into Backlash. And somewhat, actually significantly small card for Backlash. You had, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches. Pretty small. No Tiffany Stratton in that title. Didn't have anything going on there. Didn't have anything going on with the Io Sky's title. You had Pat McAfee wrestling, which was interesting. So there's a whole lot of, I think, odd stuff happening going into this. But they kick it off with Jacob Fatu, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, LA Knight, fatal 4-way for the United States title. And it was about as expected. A lot of chaos.
Every man got their stuff in. Yeah,
they had the good little.
All like out of this whole card was one of the matches I enjoyed the most.
Oh, I agree for sure. They had enough time, which was good. They had a good little rotation of each getting theirs, like you just mentioned. You had that run where it was like LA Knight hit a BFT, and then Bro hit a choke slam, and then Drew kicked somebody in the face, and that was a good little run. Somewhat scary moment though. McIntyre, the spot of the whole thing, way off yonder in the crowd, choke slam or whatever he calls it, South of Heaven.
South of Heaven, yeah.
From 6 miles up, and just land on the tables, but no. Like back of Drew's head off what I assume is concrete.
Yeah.
Yikes. Like,
that was a rough one, man.
That was rough. Not good. Triple H said after that he was, okay, but, beat up, obviously. Crazy spot. It didn't immediately scream to me. Like, it wasn't one that was like, oh, he's not in good shape. When they showed the replay, though, I was like, he might have hit his head.
Yeah, and thankfully it was kind of towards the end of the match where they didn't really need him anymore.
Yeah, that was
to start things off. Hey, concussed Drew, go work another 20 minutes, please. Thank you.
Yeah, no, that was their last shining moment.
Yeah.
So outside of the fact that Drew may or may not be hurt in real life, we're still doing Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, huh? Like
going to the well one more time, Casey.
We had that whole Sin City street fight thing.
We did.
And we're still like this isn't over. Unless Drew's like, I'm not wrestling him no more because he hurt me.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, just messy there. But anyway, back to the actual how the thing plays out.
This is like the new Andrade Carmelo Hayes.
Just best worse. Just not as good.
Best of 9. Yeah, exactly.
Back in the ring, LA Knight, Jacob Fatu going at it. Solo Sikoa arrives, and you're like, cool. And then some other dude arrives, and you're like, what is happening? And then Michael Cole was like, who is this, bro? And then Wade Barrett was like, I don't know. And then it was Jeff Cobb.
Yeah.
Like, am I wrong here? I'm like, what is happening? Who is this human?
This is what I was kind of afraid of when this happened. Because there was rumors that he was going to sign with WWE. And I'm not going to lie, like when he signed, I thought it was going to be NXT appearance and then slowly build him up. Didn't know you were going to debut him on a WWE
PLE.
pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And with Jeff Cobb, if you follow anything from Lucha Underground, which
Sure.
I did back in the day a little bit, dude's an animal.
Looks like
Dude's
it.
a beast. Obviously, if you looked at him, juice to the gills, it looks like. I'm sure he's not, though. I'm sure he's got to pass that protocol.
Mhm.
But the casual WWE fan has no idea who this guy is. And I'm sorry, is he related to Sikoa?
I looked
Is
it
he
up.
related to Jacob Fatu?
He is not.
Is he part of the bloodline?
He is not.
Okay.
He's Hawaiian.
So this is like a Bronson Reed take two?
Legitimately, Bronson Reed take two. The first thing I thought as it was happening, just not as big.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I'm watching this thing play out, and I'm like, okay, I guess. And he attacks LA Knight back in the ring. Jacob Fatu's like, cool, thanks for the help. 1, 2, 3, retains.
Solo's like, I did that.
I did that. I saved
Show me
you.
some respect.
Which is how that's how that's going to play out on Friday, I'm sure. I'm guessing here, going off some of the other things that we somewhat sort of know, which we'll get to, talking about Raw, but Jey Uso's got to defend his title twice in 2 months, assuming he wins the first one. And so you look at that.
He will. Sorry, Casey.
Oh, we'll get to that.
We will.
So you look at that. I think you look at what Heyman said last week. You add this dude who's very much going to be a part of the bloodline thing, even though, you look at the Sami Zayn part of it. I think what we're going towards is Jay's going to drop the belt at some point, and then I think we're going back into bloodline stuff pretty heavy, is my guess. I mean, yeah. I don't know. Otherwise, but Jeff Cobb's just running rampant like he's the new Jacob Fatu. I don't think this whole thing is to set up like that, I would assume.
I don't think so. But maybe Arby's is trying to sponsor. Maybe we need another meat match.
I'm just hoping Bronson Reed's on the way back type thing.
Yeah.
Because then he's on, the side.
Oh, then it's going to be the Spider-Man meme with Bronson Reed, Jacob Fatu, and then what's the new guy's name again?
Jeff Cobb.
Jeff Cobb.
They're all just pointing at each other in the ring.
By the way,
terrible name.
Yeah.
Not good.
Does Jeff Cobb scream bloodline to you?
Well, I can't explain to you how Jeff Cobb is the opposite of everything bloodline. Solo Sikoa, Roman Reigns, Jimmy
Jeff
Uso.
Cobb sounds like he should be working at Napa. Jeff tires.
Hey,
what's up? I'm Jeff Cobb, and I'm here to rotate your tires.
When Michael Cole said, "Is that Jeff Cobb?" I was like, I think Jeff Cobb in my head looks like Jeff Jarrett, that guy from AEW. That's what I'm expecting.
Mullet.
Yes. Old
cowboy boots.
White dude is what I'm thinking. Yeah. I'm like, not this large Hawaiian man. Jeff Cobb. They're going to call him corn on the cob like he's cooked. It's over. It hasn't even started. I don't know. I didn't even want to try to pretend like I knew what was happening because I had no clue.
Sure.
But, okay. I guess. I got no problem with the match.
Hey, Casey, let's see where it goes now before you reserve judgment.
I agree. It's telling a story. The Solo and Fatu story lives. Where are the Tongas, by the way? But anyway, they're going to be a part of this. I'm telling you, everybody's coming back soon. But anyway, that happened, and I was like, okay, we're off to a good start. Becky Lynch, Lyra Valkyria. I mean, multiple "this is awesome" chants from the crowd. Mm-hmm. Very much enjoyed it. Great match.
Lyra Valkyria, from the depths of irrelevancy,
has catapulted
into trending topics.
Yep.
Do I dare say she's flapped her wings and raised herself?
That's good.
Into the echelons of maybe must-see TV? She's getting there, Casey. She's good, man.
Very good. I like it. I mean, I don't know why it took 8 months to do anything, but that's not her fault, I assume.
Her poor fiance is getting a little bit of Twitter dislike, and that's okay.
That guy just out of nowhere getting absolutely demolished. They did him no favors by showing him. Like, Becky randomly
are just two guys that are just like, hey, we didn't ask for any of this. You know, when Charlotte said her piece.
Oh yeah. No, like Becky randomly 2 weeks ago was like, you wouldn't have met your fiance without me. Now this guy's like, damn it. Like, I know he's at home. Like, dude, you got to be kidding. Like, this is going to turn out poorly for me. And it did for sure. I'm not sure what I thought like was going to happen result wise. Mm-hmm. Like, I think I thought Lyra was going to win. I'm not sure if I was sure of that, but I mean, interesting to say the least, like for her to still have the belt and take a lot of damage and get the win. Becky obviously talks on Raw, so we'll get to that in a minute, but really no complaints. Really, really good stuff, I thought.
Good on Becky for helping out a younger talent, getting her over a little more. I thought Bayley was going to come in and cost Becky.
It could have made some sense.
Which would have made sense, you know. I mean, it
actually would have made like all of the sense to be honest.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm sure we'll see her pretty soon.
Yeah.
But overall, great match. And shout out to Lyra Valkyria for they seem to like a lot, obviously. They keep elevating her.
Yeah.
And I think she's handled the challenge so far.
Is it a bad thing that match was better than any of the women's matches at WrestleMania?
I mean, I'll say the triple threat Kasey at WrestleMania.
That's true. They were good. That was cooking.
Pretty ballin'.
That's true. You're right.
And it had a surprise ending with
Io
Sky winning.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right about that for sure. Mm-hmm. But this was very good and good on them. I was extremely entertained. Dom and Penta for the men's Intercontinental Championship. I'm pretty sure they got a grand total of like 6 minutes. It felt like it was over right after it started. The crowd was conflicted. There was some support for Dom, but there was not full support for Dom. Dom, great wrestler, like no beef there. Penta is obviously Penta. Judgment Day involved Finn Balor, little hesitation when he could have took a chair shot, which he did not. And then the grand reveal of El Grande Americano to cost Penta and Dom to retain his title. I know it was a fast 6 minutes, but what'd you think?
I thought it was a good match. I mean, overall, in the ring, it was great. Mm-hmm. Here's my thing, though. The crowd, as they should, loves Dom. Crowd loves Penta. Okay, that's fine. Crowd was interactive. What I'm wondering going forward here, Kasey, is like, what do you do with the Judgment Day?
It's a great question.
Because Liv Morgan, for being the bratty type of heel, is kind of over and almost a face in the eyes of the fans.
That's correct.
Dom is a face.
All of a sudden.
Finn, he teeter-totters.
But you could do either.
And then the other guys, like McDonough and Carlito, I feel like are heels. And then you have Raquel, too, who's heel all day.
Yeah.
So, like, my question is, like, what is the Judgment Day going to look like here? Because you have, like, I literally can't think of another group the past 10 years where some of them you cheered for and some of them you booed for.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, listen, I think you probably should just go for it and, like, have Finn turn and see what happens. Like, turn on Dom and then just see where you go from there, just to kind of get on with this story. Because you're right. Like, it's very much a part of every show, whether they're doing something or not.
They're huge.
But, like, also, like, they're a huge part of it. But at the same time, like, Finn Balor is not getting a huge reaction. Carlito never does anything.
No.
Like, if it's not Liv, there's not a whole lot. And Dom hasn't done a lot. I mean, he's good. And when he's out there, it's good. But, like, before he won the title, bro was getting squashed every other week. Like, it was just odd. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think you probably just get on with the bit, or when you bring Liv back, you like have her flip on Dom, because then you could then take Dom and go straight face, or you could drop Liv back down. She could come back and be like, "Oh, I'm better than you now because I just filmed this movie," or whatever. You could go something like that. But yeah, I don't know. It's just odd. Like I feel like they're stuck in a spot where they can't go anywhere, whether Liv's there or not, because it's just kind of awkward. I will say this, Carlito, though, you mentioned it. He's like a heel and is always trying to pull heel crap. But then they have him saying these like one-liners that are like funny, and it's like, okay, he's a heel, but like,
yeah, it's like the R-Truth effect,
literally. And I'm just like, okay, like it's funny, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. So yeah, I think they got to do something instead of teasing it for 6.5 years now. Just do something related to that. Anyway, Dom gets the win. Americano. I don't know. I have absolutely no idea. That match was about 6 minutes because they needed a significant chunk of time for a man that has been a champion 80% of the time he's been in WWE, the ring general Gunther, to fight a commentator, Pat McAfee. Now, a couple of things here.
Mm-hmm.
First
of all, you thought that this wasn't going to be the match.
I just wanted. That's the first thing I was going to say. I can't believe that was the match. Still, nonetheless, the crowd was into it. The crowd was excited for McAfee. Like whoever made that decision actually hit a home run because they were right.
Yeah,
and
you're not wrong there, Casey.
Outside of that, you're gonna be shocked by this. I was pleasantly surprised at what happened.
Interesting.
I thought they did it exactly right. I didn't like that they did it, and I still don't love it. But I think the execution for once you've established that's where you're going, I think it was perfect because Pat got the crap beat out of him for 20 minutes. And it was clear he was down. He had some moments where he would throw offense, and it made you think like, okay. And then Gunther, in perfect form, would just swallow it up and then drop him again.
Squash it. Yep.
And I thought that, like, just the way that they did that, I thought was perfect because there was we were worried about it being believable. I thought if you do something like that, it's perfectly believable. Like if McAfee were to kick him, he kicked footballs. Like that makes I thought that whoever wrote the story, I thought was actually perfect. And that's why I was pleasantly surprised with how it played out.
So I'm going to say this much. Kudos to Pat McAfee for taking some gnarly bumps.
Mm-hmm.
Like
he got killed.
There's some moves, Casey, where you can disguise, you can make them look worse than they really are. And then there's some moves like the chop where you just take it. The sound is everything.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to take it. And McAfee did. So props to him for doing that. I did like the storytelling element where whenever McAfee got a little glimmer of hope and the crowd was getting behind him, here comes Gunther and a kick to the face or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I wasn't truly excited about was the finish. Where like McAfee was getting choked and he gets like the second wind and he's like,
I agree,
over exaggerating a little bit, and then he gets put to sleep. Interesting, and I'm not sure if this is storytelling or not, that McAfee just got choked out and didn't tap.
Correct.
Gunther tapped in like 3 seconds.
True.
So there's something to that.
True.
Or not.
Interesting.
But I thought that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Thought it was interesting how when the match is over, Gunther, shook Pat McAfee's hand. Oh, also too, we have to mention Michael Cole, like
get in there.
Just like, the test of friendship and everything, Casey.
Trying to help. Doing what he can.
Casey, next fight that I have, I expect you cage side willing me on if something goes gnarly.
I'm in there.
All right, let's go.
I'm in there. I'll tell you what though. I don't care if you're fighting the lowest lightweight of all time. If bro starts walking towards me like Gunther was walking towards Michael Cole, I'm out. I would just back up. I'll be like, yo, dog, this ain't got nothing to do with me.
Brent's gonna be there trying to get the lighting in the back to make sure the shot looks good.
It's gonna be a mess. I'm gonna get choked out. You'll win, but I'll be dead. Martin will be shooting it. It'll be like terrible. But yeah, I mean, I guess more people need friends like Michael Cole because bro was in there ready to roll. Yeah, it happened. I mean, I don't know now. Like, well, I mean, we found out a little bit on Raw, but like, I guess they just needed to do something, like, is my guess, because McAfee was just like, all right, yeah, I lost. Which, what else are you going to do? Like, you're not a wrestler, but, like,
yeah.
Okay. But in terms of, like, crowd reaction and vibe in the building, like, it felt like they kind of hit a home run, which I did not expect.
Hey, so let me ask you this real quick. Since, like, I think we can kind of bury this story now with, like, you know, the announcers versus wrestlers, that's probably over. We heard McAfee say that Cole's the GOAT a couple times.
Yep.
Do you put him in that conversation? Are you more of a Jim Ross attitude era guy? You go some other place? Like, where do you think Michael Cole stands in line of the actual GOAT or not?
I mean, he's got to be right
been
there.
Doing it a while.
In my opinion, he's been doing a very, very long time. He's not that Jim Ross wasn't professional. Don't get me wrong, but like Cole feels like that has always brought this like professional vibe, not the tessitor type, but like just like the straight and narrow type thing.
Yep.
So that's why I think this has got such a reaction because he's gone off of that. But yeah, man, I think you got to put him up there. I really do because he's been doing it.
I agree with you.
Yeah. So and listen, it doesn't look like there's any signs of like slowing down.
No, I mean, dude's gonna be in his 80s, 90s, probably doing the damn thing, man. It's crazy.
Feels like it.
In terms of consistency, the guy's always there. And I agree with you, Casey. Like, sometimes what makes a great announcer is like you don't have a catchphrase. You don't have like these viral moments. You're just steady. You're just straight-laced and steady. Jim Ross wasn't that. Jim Ross brought the emotional element, you know, the chaotic element. McAfee brings that.
Yeah.
I think Wade Barrett brings a little bit of that.
Agreed.
You know, Tessitore, we have fun with him, but like he's almost like too straight-laced. I just think like Michael Cole, I mean, he's been the soundtrack of our wrestling experience for a long time now. But dude's just consistent.
Oh, yeah.
He's like the go-to guy.
You know what you're getting.
Yep, exactly.
And it's just so simple and easy. And yeah, I rock with Michael Cole, but maybe no more of the wrestling, the announcers thing, unless it's Barrett. Like you could do that.
That'd be cool.
But, you know, we will see. Now that brings us to our main event. The thing that everybody bought tickets to see, John Cena and Randy Orton. The crowd was...
Wish I didn't speak it into existence last week, Casey.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Entrance was electric. Everybody was there for Randy Orton singing. Great stuff.
Decibel levels from Xfinity at what, 120?
Oh, Xfinity couldn't have figured that one out. Just really, really good. John Cena, love again. The black background with the white text is, I just think, unbeatable. Crowd, everything. And like, it was cooking. Like, it was nothing until it was like WrestleMania. But early, it was... I never felt like that with Cody and Cena. It never felt like that to me. Like, those two were just going at it, and it was perfect for a while.
Yeah, I don't know if it was nostalgia, Casey. I don't know if it was just the lead up to this, but yeah, it felt like a WrestleMania match.
It definitely
The work
did.
in the ring, the psychology, the crowd, like it was all there.
And then, like, all right, so yeah, first we'll just go through it. So, let's start with this part. This is now the second time that we've needed 2 to 3 referees in a John Cena match. The bit is played The bit is worn out. Please don't do it again.
I know.
Because it sucks. It's a terrible, terrible bit that we got to take out the referee. And by the way, the referee, who I now forget his name, but I had it all the way up until this point, in the last in the WrestleMania, he got taken out on 3 different occasions. So this guy, in his last 2 big matches, is 0 for 4. He cannot survive. This guy's probably dead. But, so first off, that bit, I'm done with that bit. Second,
I'm with you.
Adam Pearce, all right? Or actually, Nick Aldis, because you're the GM of SmackDown.
Yes.
So the ref goes out. And for 10 minutes, you did nothing.
Nothing.
Not a thing.
Thunderdome. There is no rules.
There is no rules. The ref finally begins to become a person again, head into steps. Dead. Nick Aldis. Where on God's green earth is a referee? Because we did another 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And only does the referee show up when Cena's trying to pin him. And I'm like, if this ends right here, this is a major, major debacle. It did not.
Oh, yeah.
Then I believe that guy
Which
dies.
it seemed like that's what was going to happen.
Oh, textbook. That's how that was going to happen.
How many times, Casey, do we watch Raw, do we watch SmackDown, where a ref goes down and another ref comes
immediately
in right away, 1, 2, 3.
Seconds later.
They call this.
It was 10 minutes.
Any more John Cena matches, I'm going to need 10. Count them 10.
They all need to be out there.
Sitting on the bench by Michael Cole in commentary.
Just ready.
Just chomping at the bit to go in.
Exactly.
Because we can't do this anymore.
We can't do this anymore. So that the referee bit is old and played, and I can't stand for the referee bit again. Then Randy Orton kind of loses it for a minute there, and, as he should. Got the crowd going. Nick Aldis, we'll see you. Security, we'll see you. And then one final RKO that had to be delivered.
Yep.
I'll give you this. You said it last week, and I still think that it should be done in this tour.
Yeah.
I was flabbergasted when I saw R-Truth. I could not believe it.
So 2 things, Casey. I, too, was flabbergasted. And that's a word I haven't used in probably 10 years, but I was flabbergasted.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen the movie The Matrix, right?
I have.
All right. And I forgot her name in it. She's the blonde girl.
Okay.
Where she's like getting ready to die because they're pulling the plugs. By the way, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen The Matrix,
True.
What do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, you kind of just jumped the gun on that one.
The blonde girl, she's getting ready to get the thing pulled, and she goes, not like this, and she's kind of like somber and crying.
Mm-hmm.
That was me with R-Truth. Because I wanted to see this moment. I want to see R-Truth and John Cena. But honestly, Casey, I didn't want to see it like this.
Really? You don't say.
Yeah.
So R-Truth there to save the day for his childhood hero.
Mm-hmm.
And in theory, saves the day for his childhood hero in time for John to get up, survive. R-Truth not necessarily well, I guess he did technically survive. And I believe the finish is, you get a low blow, which, again, hey.
Straight out of the John Cena playbook.
And then I believe it's a title to the face that takes Randy Orton out for the 1, 2, 3. And, am I over? Is this an over-exaggeration what I'm telling you right here? I am shocked that, Cena is cool with this how it ending. Because now, what you've done in what, in my opinion, will be remembered as the 2 biggest matches of this. I know they just happened recency bias, but the way that this projects out, there cannot be a bigger one than WrestleMania.
No.
And the biggest one that was not WrestleMania was going to be Randy Orton. The next biggest one will be CM Punk, which will happen.
Yeah.
But they, for the most part, copy and pasted again. The low blow crap, the referee crap, the title crap, and the random of all randoms getting involved. Why?
Here's what I go back to. And I don't know if this is like deep storytelling. John Cena said he was going to ruin wrestling. These last two matches
have ended
have kind of ruined wrestling.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that's the goal. I don't think so. You're John Cena. You're the most decorated wrestler of all time. I feel like you want to go out like, in a blaze of glory.
Yeah.
Travis Scott? R-Truth to a low blow? I don't know.
I don't know either. Like this.
And now, to me, Casey, and then when we fast forward to the press conference, Triple H brings in John Cena. John Cena, more of blah, being a heel at the press conference. R-Truth comes to whatever, congratulate him, and then it turns into an attitude adjustment to the table. My man got the picture already chalked up.
Dead.
This is my issue with this, Casey.
Yeah, what you got?
I felt like this story could have been told so much better because there's so much history in it.
Yeah.
Like, you want to talk about Cody Rhodes writing his story and everything at WrestleMania, and he lost the first WrestleMania. He comes back, gets the opportunity. Seth Rollins comes in, Roman Reigns. Like, it was chaotic. But it was a nice bow on this story for Cody Rhodes. You could have did the same thing for R-Truth. Like, there's so many different ways to tell this story. I think you should have did it at the expense of Randy Orton and what was going on to be a great match.
Yeah, no, I fully agree with that. Yeah, so the press conference thing that you just saw there and you explained. One thing that did happen there, I like that he called him his name, called him Ron, which is R-Truth's real name. So I was like, okay,
means business.
But like, okay, but like, he didn't even do anything. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I agree with you. Like, it's just such a odd thing to have happened. Again, it should have happened. Not in this way. R-Truth and the John Cena thing should have happened. I stand by that. But like, not like this. And you're right, man. Like the Randy Orton being involved in this part, like this feels like something to me that's going to come out in a documentary in 10 years that John's like, I didn't want to do it like that. And Randy Orton's like, I didn't want to do it like that. And R-Truth's like, I didn't want to go out there.
I didn't want to.
Like, it feels like that's something we're going to get because it's just so, it doesn't feel like the greatest of all time is retiring. It feels like a super odd work.
Yep.
Like, it feels like El Grande Americano, to be completely honest with you, in a type of way. Like, it makes no sense, but it kind of does, but it's kind of stupid. Like, that's where we're at.
See, it makes a little sense, but it's not the best possible sense.
No.
For the go to professional wrestling.
And if he wanted to be a heel, that's fine. I feel like you could have done it 5 or 6 other ways that weren't this random stuff. Like, I don't know. And I don't know how you like salvage it at this point. Like, you're going to do R-Truth. Okay. You're going to do CM Punk at some point. I don't know what you're going to do there, but like, we've done this a couple times. How does this end? Like,
yeah,
I feel like you keep digging yourself a hole that it's going to be weird to come out of. And I'll tell you this, if it's a low blow and like a knocked out referee to beat R-Truth, we got a serious problem here.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want him to squash R-Truth, but like, you can't do this again.
No, I hope it's a great match. I told you last week, I almost hope that R-Truth got it off of John Cena at the end.
Yeah.
But
weird.
No, like, listen, if it's like another low blow, some kind of cheap thing, then John Cena stayed true to his word. He's trying to ruin professional wrestling.
He's killing it right now.
And that's the end game. And that's maybe long-term storytelling. Maybe that's deep storytelling. I'll say this, Casey. If there's another low blow, and it cheapens the match with R-Truth, whenever that's going to be, we're going to go back to the he's ruined wrestling thing. And then I'm going to sit here and say, well, then what is the end game? Like, then what's the final play? Like, you're going out of your way to make it horrible end, like horrible finishes.
Mm-hmm.
So then what's the end game? What do you plan on doing to rectify everything? Because this is your going away tour. We'll see.
We'll see. That is how it all ends at Backlash in St. Louis. We move to Raw somewhat quickly here.
Real quick too, Casey. We'd be remiss. Rest in peace. Sabu as well.
Yep,
Thank you,
right.
Steven, for keeping us posted. Yes,
that's kind of a wild thing, huh? Like he just
hardcore legend. Dude just had a match a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, like right at during the WrestleMania like run, if you will. I felt like that one kind of came out of like nowhere. Like I understand you got to be like somewhat prepared for things like that when you're talking about older wrestlers who their body on the line for 40 years, but like kind of I was surprised. Like, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, he always kind of seemed like, because obviously ECW, right? He was never like, he was in WWE for a little bit, like towards the end, but he was always a guy. And like, I want to be careful how I say this, but like he almost reminded me of like a Bob Barker.
Interesting.
And when I say he reminds me of Bob Barker, he's just the guy you always expected to be there. Like the guy's invincible. A table, barbed wire ain't gonna take him out.
Right.
How's life gonna take him out? And unfortunately, Father Time is undefeated. Life is undefeated, and he was taken out, man. But you want to talk about a resume of work and putting his body on the line for fan after fan?
Mm-hmm.
That's a dude right there.
For sure.
Yep.
Without a doubt. We got like 10 minutes raw quickly. You start off with CM Punk, who you kind of just restarted that story after taking like a week off. Okay. CM Punk is real upset at Paul Heyman, called him a fat penguin, which was something. The interruption was fantastic, by the way, because the crowd was like, oh crap, and then Punk was like, no, you suck, no, we're not doing it. That was I thought awesome, obviously leading to Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, and we're gonna fight each other, and Sami Zayn showing up out of nowhere, Jey Uso showing up out of nowhere, and it's a big huge scrap to start the show, but again, Heyman and the boys sent running because once again they are outnumbered, so the tease of there's going to be a third still very much existing for that crew. We'll see. They say Penta and Chad Gable are going to wrestle each other, which is great. And then out of nowhere, while that match is about to start, here comes Pat McAfee. I literally don't know if he was late to work or what happened there, but it was very odd feeling. And got a good reaction. Crowd was still into that. Penta Chad Gable, because obviously Penta's mad at El Grande, who's not Chad Gable, so I'm not really sure why these two things are involved, but nonetheless, it's fine. Penta does get the win over Chad Gable, though. Good wrestling.
Great match, man. Chad Gable.
Yeah.
Does his thing.
I wonder if Chad Gable's into the El Grande bit. Like, he's a fan, obviously, because he doesn't know him, but I mean, like, I wonder if...
Yeah, true.
If you caught him, if he just was, if he likes it or not, you know.
How many matches do we have to see with Chad Gable, not Grande Americano, not Shorty G, just Chad Gable?
True.
Where it's like, you know what? This dude's a pretty good wrestler.
Yeah.
Maybe we should push him a little bit.
I wonder...
let's get gimmicky.
I wonder if the ultimate, like, payoff is somehow, some way, they find a dude that looks just like Gable and they bring him out as Americano. Like, I wonder if they're just like buying time for something like that to happen. Like Money in the Bank. El Grande. Money in the Bank. El Grande qualifies and Gable qualifies. Separate singles matches. Like, then what? Wouldn't that be awesome? That'd be cool.
That'd be pretty. You know what, Casey?
Everyone would be talking about that tilt the lead up.
Has been paying off for 2 separate matches with Grande Americano and Chad Gable. Okay, then. I'm on board.
Wild. That would be absolutely wild.
That'd be cool.
Anyway, Roxanne Perez and Julia get a promo. I had absolutely no idea Julia was speaking a language that was not ours. I had no idea.
Yeah, so she's Chinese or Japanese, one of those two.
I had absolutely no clue what was happening.
Yep.
It's like, oh.
Yeah, because she looks a little more Americanized than the traditional.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had no clue. Apparently, yeah. So that was okay. Her and Roxanne Perez had a match, which ended up being the main event, which we'll get to in a little bit, but that's what they were talking about. Carlito's trying to take Raquel out, but on Raquel's credit card, but he'll pay her back. Listen, my man's trying. Bro is not doing well. He's been left on red as many times as anyone ever has, but maybe one day Carlito will get it done. It's announced Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker versus Sami Zayn and CM Punk at Saturday night's main event. Okay. Good. I guess.
Let's go,
yeah, it'll be fine.
Yep.
See what happens.
Yeah. I'm sure Jesse the Body Ventura is going to have something to say about it if he shows up.
Oh, I'm sure.
I hope he shows up.
Oh, I am sure he'll have something to say about it. American made the Creeds get a win finally over the War Raiders. Oh, I don't need to see. They're great. You were right.
Put the belts on them immediately.
Dude, they're like, they were throwing the War Raiders around like they were. I don't even have, like, they were throwing them around like it was freaking Hornswoggle. Like, they were just picking them up and chucking them, and I was like, what is happening? Like, it just looks so easy. They're just, like, really, really, really good.
When, it was funny because, like, they announced Xavier Woods and Kofi coming to the booth.
Mm-hmm.
And who was that? That would have been Tessitore, right?
No, that was
that was
Cole and McAfee.
Yeah, Cole's like, and now we're going to be greeted by, like, the biggest athletes in WWE. And I'm like, oh, crap, Apollo Crews is about to come down and, like, do some commentary? And then we see Kofi and Xavier, and I'm like, that makes a little more sense for the tag team.
That's
Sorry,
tough.
man.
That's tough. Listen, I still like the New Day on commentary, by the way.
Yeah, I liked it how they kept on calling Michael Cole out for, like, trying to cheat.
Mm-hmm. That was good.
Hold him accountable.
It's a good bit. And I like the New Day. I like the New Day new entrance music too. So, but
no, let's not bury the lead here. Creed brothers, fantastic.
Belts on them ASAP.
Yep.
I'm glad they won.
I was wrong about you there, I think.
Oh, you were dead wrong.
Creed brothers, it is.
Absolutely. And the thing about, like, the Creeds is I was really hoping they were going to win because, like, they just keep having American made lose.
I know.
Gable, lose. Ivy Nile, not a chance.
Nile.
Creeds lost a lot. If you're not El Grande, you ain't winning. Mm-hmm. And I think they made the right decision there for sure because the Creeds are good. Logan Paul, Jey Uso at Saturday night's main event. You damn right. Which then has Jey Uso come out and say, I'm going to beat the YouTuber. And everyone was like, yeet. And then Gunther shows up.
20 minutes, by the way, for the entrance, I feel like, Casey.
It took a while. Takes a while for Jey Uso.
Undertaker-esque.
Basically. But the total opposite, he's flying around. Just Undertaker's taking one step an hour. Jey Uso's sprinting back and forth. Gunther comes out, black tee underneath, somewhat of a pullover situation.
Pullover Gunther. New whole evolution.
Mm-hmm.
How are we feeling about pullover Gunther?
It's not the worst.
Casey, I didn't mind it because it almost showed like, hey, like I'm showing some respect. I'm maybe a little bit broken still from losing my belt, but like I got my black t-shirt underneath where if it pops off, I'll remind everybody how devastating I am.
Yeah, absolutely. But he shares that he'll get a title shot after Logan Paul, Jey Uso. I can't imagine a scenario where Jey Uso wins both of them. So I think that's why we're going back to bloodline stuff. I think it'll just probably be Gunther. I don't think it'll be Logan Paul. I'd love for it to be.
But
Logan
also, it's
Paul.
not going to be Paul versus Gunther either. You realize that, right?
Yeah, no, it's going to be Jey.
Okay.
It's just unfortunate.
As long as we're on the same page there.
Yeah, just, if I had more time to argue, we only got 2 minutes. If I had more time to argue, I probably would. Ludwig Kaiser still works there, as it turns out, gets interrupted by Braun Breaker attacking Jey Uso for some reason. More on that as the weeks go by. AJ Styles gets a win over Finn Balor.
I think it was Alicia who was interviewing him. Just basically going, "Hey, what's up?
Where you been?
Why aren't you working?"
Yeah, that's exactly how it went.
Yeah.
What are we thinking about Becky Lynch going the John Cena route and just basically like, you guys don't deserve me. You guys didn't treat me right, and you guys like she went John Cena.
She did.
It kind of worked.
It works, man, because it's believable. She's good on the mic. A lot of enthusiasm, a lot of passion. I'm not mad at it.
The one thing that's wild, I think, is like when the females turn heel, I feel like there is a very small window to make it believable. It's like difficult, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And the only one I feel like that's ever able to do it successfully back and forth is Bayley.
True.
Bayley's a good heel, but like the Charlotte thing is not working. Like Nia Jax never goes back and forth. She's a good heel, but like it never goes back and forth. But like as Becky was going, I was like, okay, this is fine. But like I felt like for a minute there, the crowd wasn't really feeling it. And I was like, it made me think about Bayley. I'm like, Bayley can flip them so quick.
Yeah. I will say this about Becky, because she kind of took the high road for a bit and was like making you feel sorry for her.
True.
And then she turned it on its head and then just said like, screw you guys.
Yeah. Well,
it was. I agree with you about Bayley though.
We'll see where it goes from here with Becky Lynch, but she definitely took the John Cena route. And then Rhea and Io Sky, Julia, Roxanne, good match, but give it to Rhea Ripley and Io Sky for the win.
Yep.
And that's
Julia got pinned clean, so that's fine. Thought she was going to be the next big thing. Yeah, we'll go back to NXT and we'll see what's going on.
Go back to NXT, you bum.
Entrance was lacking, I thought.
Definitely lacking.
Ring gear was kind of whatever.
Just okay.
A lot of blue in the hair.
We'll see you. We'll see you. Back to NXT. An L
on this one.
Back to NXT where you belong, Julia.
Maybe taking an L on this one. And I think, honestly, Roxanne Perez has outshined her anyways.
Yes, I agree with that as well. We'll see you, Julia. We'll keep Roxanne. Go away. Back to NXT. All right, we got to go. Scraphouse schedule release show coming up next with the Action Sports Jax crew. Austin, I'll be here tomorrow with you and Brent, so we'll goof around a little bit.
Oh, sounds good, man. Hopefully you guys can figure out how to make my microphone work, and we'll be good to go.
Hey, have you ever considered it might have been operator error?
Oh, hey. I reestablished that like 10 times during the show. Yes.
Well, we'll find out tomorrow. Tune in to see if it works.
Stay tuned. Let's get something to watch.
All right. Sounds good. We'll see you tomorrow. Scraphouse out.
Later, man.